What's up, guys? Aaron, the trucking guy. Thank you guys for tuning in. Listen, we're doing this one on Hotshot. Why it sucks. Okay, let's talk about it. For some reason, there's a stigma that hotshotters are not professional drivers. I don't know why that is. It's just a different type of equipment, but the job and the regulations and everything are just the same as a semi. When you get into CDL hotshot, obviously non-CDL is a different story, but they get a bad rap, and I guess it's just because of so many in the industry. It's a easier barrier of entry to get into the industry because the equipment doesn't cost as much or whatever. There's not as much, checking and double checking and credentialing in order to get into one. Not as much training required, so you end up with people who are negligent, right, or just people who don't know enough about it. So it sucks in the essence of you always have a target on your back as far as DOT is concerned, right? They're always looking to inspect you guys, catch you in something, whatever the reason is. I actually started in Hotshot. A lot of people don't know that. Before I got into semis or what we did, flatbed step decks over the years, I've done every type of everything from car hauling to reefer to flatbed to drive in to heavy haul. I've done it all, and started in Hotshot. So Hotshot is kind of where I cut my teeth and made some money and built my business. And we still recruit Hotshots to this day for owner operators. We still run them. We still train them, and it is a very good way to make money. Now, it does suck for that one element alone that you will always be discriminated against because they think you're not professional. They think you're not serious. And that's discrimination comes from the brokers. It comes from the customers. It comes from the shippers. It comes from the military. It comes from the government as far as the FMCSA is concerned. Everybody hates hotshots because of the bad rap they get from the bad actors. Now, there's a lot of good people who have super clean equipment, super clean records. Their stuff looks tight, looks sharp, and they still get harassed and messed with by DOT. Just because they're easy, quick, fast inspections to do as far as an officer is concerned. And most of the time, they're going to be able to find something, whether it be window tint, length limit laws, not having your fire extinguisher mounted, whatever it is. There's always going to be something that they can pick out and point out, and they don't give that scrutiny to semis, and they don't do as many semi inspections, it seems like, because there's so many hot shots. They'd rather target them because semis take longer time to inspect. You have to crawl underneath of them, take a lot more in-depth look into them, and so they just pick on the hot shots. It sucks, but that's one of the reasons why it sucks. From a shipper standpoint, they discriminate against them because they've been burnt so many times by unprofessional drivers that they were supposed to send in. Dispatchers do this as well, and brokers. They were supposed to send in a flatbed. They requested a flatbed, a 48 flat, 53, whatever, or step deck, and it was a light load, 10,000, 12,000 pounds. So they sent in a hot shot, hoping that they would load it when they don't load it because it doesn't have air ride, or maybe they don't work with hot shots, or they sent in a hot shot and it was supposed to be tarped and it didn't get tarped correctly, or they didn't take it seriously enough because they're new or rookies, or their tarps got a hole in them, or they didn't know how to tarp adequately. So their tarp gets ripped on the run and they end up with cargo claims. So the customers don't like hot shots for that reason. So a lot of customers and or brokers have gotten away from allowing hot shots to come in. The military doesn't like it because a lot of their stuff they want, especially if it's generator based, engine based, any kind of thing that has to do with computer controls, they want it on air ride, and they want the truck and the trailer to be on air ride. And so for that reason, they've been burnt because they've had people come in, say they were air ride and they were not, and then they couldn't load it after being double checked, or they weren't air ride and loaded the equipment and delivered it and it was damaged because of the vibration or whatever. And then, the pure from the DOT standpoint, accidents, failed inspections, not having licenses, smaller carriers not keeping up on maintenance and tires and things. So that's kind of why you get the stigma from the customers, from the DOT officers, from the military, from just about everybody, as well as big trucks don't really give you the respect either. You're in their parking spot. You're in their way. They get annoyed by you. They think that you're not professional. You're half-ass trucker. The brokers disrespect you like that. Get a real truck. Oh, no, honey, I'm looking for a real truck, whatever. We've all heard it. So at the end of the day, that's why it sucks. If you're going to position yourself in business, why position yourself in a business that's going to have a bunch of negatives and a bunch of downsides, right? Now, for the downsides, there are some upsides. The maintenance and repairs are cheaper. The equipment is cheaper, easier to get a hold of, easier to get into. You can get better interest rates on it. You don't have to have a CDL and a place to put it to work and a whole situation in order to make it work. As far as, a plan, so you can go in with a moderate credit score, a little bit of money down or whatever, and proof of income, and put it and get a truck. You know, you can get a trailer. There's a lot of places that sell trailers, buy here, pay here. None of those deals, if they're easy to obtain, are good deals, right? So, in my opinion, that's why it sucks. Would I go buy Hotshot trucks right now? My professional opinion, as far as a fleet owner, would I fleet own Hotshots? No, I wouldn't, unless I had, like I just talked to a guy recently who had some specialized clientele. He was hauling Lamborghinis and Porsches and things like that in enclosed trailers. You don't really need a semi for that. And yeah, he's making really, really good money doing that. And it's dedicated clients. You're not using load boards. And he likes to use, like Ram 35, 4500s with enclosed trailers. That would probably work. Hauling boats, you could do it. You don't really, I mean, there are some big boats that you do need semis, and it would be nice to have a sleeper, but some guys don't want to do that. They want to drive a hot shot. And when it blows up, go get another one. It really just depends on what you're doing. And if you have, like, I have another friend that does nothing but AC units. He's been set up with them for like 15 years. That's all he does. He has an air ride trailer, air ride on his truck. He gets a new truck every 2 years, and it makes money because he's consistently making $3-4 a mile all year, every year. But it's just getting in with those type of clientele that would work. Just getting a hot shot or a bunch of hot shot trucks to go build a fleet, I don't know that I would do that. It's hard to get people to do the hot shot lifestyle because your sleeping quarters aren't that good, right? It's very limited in the fact of what you can do, as far as, you have to have them maxed out to make them make consistent money, with all of the gear, all of the outfitting, your guys having twit carts, passports, hazmat, everything. So when you get into the something that's so limiting, would I pick that? Probably not. I would pick something like a moderately pre-emission, 40, 50, $60,000 Peterbilt, 13 or 18. And that way, with probably a Cat or a Cummins or even a Detroit in it, and something that's going to be long lasting, something that I can get an in-frame done on and get parts for, something that I could pull a flat step or even a RGN or lowboy with and make some real money. And when I mean real money, I mean better money, really, because the hot shots do make money. They do make real money because it's real, it's tangible. But it's not the optimal. If I was going to choose a path, knowing what I know now, I probably wouldn't choose that path because of the limiting factors, the discrimination, how difficult it is, and how having hot shots in a fleet, from my perspective, will really jack up your safety score. We've had close to 300 inspections, and you never know when you're going to get a low tire, a dirty window, not having fuses in the door. They're always looking to write something. Doesn't matter. They want to write something. They don't treat the semis the same way. If you're a semi guy and you got a good looking shirt on, you're a clean dude, or gal or whatever, and you got a clean truck, you operate clean equipment, they're more than likely going to leave you alone. They take it that you're a little bit more of a professional career type driver, and they're going to leave you alone. So that's why I say it sucks. That's why I don't know that I would go jump into it. But if you did already, or if you're interested in doing it, there is a lane for you for that. I would just learn as much as you can, jump into it the right way, because there's a right way to do hot shot and there's a wrong way to do hot shot. Jump into it the right way, learn everything you can, learn how to work with the depreciation curve. That's the biggest problem in buying a hot shot truck. Buy your trailer cash. Don't finance a trailer. Buy all your gear, get set up, get all the credentialing, or get a driver that has all the credentialing. And you can do it, and you can make money. It's a great way to get in and level up. It's just more difficult. So if you're someone who's willing to go a more difficult route than getting a semi, now it's perspective, because some people say getting into a semi is more difficult because you don't know how to look at one. You don't know how to buy one. They're expensive. You don't have a CDL. The banks don't want a loan on them. There's a lot of negative aspects to that as well, but you can overcome those, just like you can overcome them in hot shot. So, the point is, pick a path and run with it and go start making money. Just do everything you can to learn as much as you can to do it, better every day. But realize that those are reasons why it sucks. And there it is, 2 cents from the trucking guy. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you want some more info, or you want some pro tips, or you want someone to help carry you through the process of what it takes to be successful, go to consultthetruckingguy.com, and we'll see you there. Hopefully we can help you. Best of luck.